What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. Listen, I know you guys seen me last night and we talked football last night, but it's been a shakeup. And some of the things that we talked about last night kind of came to fruition today. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on today's guest. We got Mitch Scott, we got Sean Farr, and we got Terrence Pitts Sr. How are you doing today, gentlemen?
What's happening, fam?
I'm doing amazing. I am amazing. I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. So before we get to before we jump ahead, right, and before we get to talking about the Steelers and Kenny Pickett and the shakeup that has occurred, we definitely want to make sure that we do our due diligence and we give a legend his flowers now, and that is Aaron Donald. 10 years in the NFL, 10 dominant years. You can't say anything bad about this guy. You're talking about from a dominant force to a team player, extremely hard work ethic, leader. I mean, he was just fierce. He was a man amongst boys out there to the point where sometimes they had to put 2 or 3 people around him. And today he retired, calling it a career, 10 years in the NFL. And on the screen, as you can see, some of his, his accolades, just when he came into the league, he started off hot. Defensive Player of the Year, Pro Bowls every year. So I'll take a step back and I'll let you guys, if you want to say anything in regards to, Aaron Donald and the career that he has had before I play a video after that. Mitch, you can go. Sean, you can go. Man. Okay, go ahead, Mitch, Sean, and then Singer.
Hey, just want to give a shout out to a brother on a distinguished career. I mean, the brother is just straight up awesome. I can't think of a season that went by that I wasn't hoping that we could pull off some type of trade. And I just want to say he broke my heart when he said that he didn't want to come back to Pittsburgh to play. And I only wish that he would have gave us at least 1 year, 1 season. And but congratulations. I wish him all the best on his pursuits. I look forward to seeing him on ESPN soon.
Sean?
Yeah, congratulations on a great career. I mean, he was a beast. Day one, just coming out, representing well, representing Pitt, and his work ethic was crazy and phenomenal. And just the energy he brought to that team, and the dominance that he brought to the game.
Absolutely. Singer?
Yeah, I think before you talk about what he did on the field, you got to talk about what he did off the field. You didn't
Absolutely.
have any newspaper clippings, anything negative about his life. And him being a father, a husband, taking care of business at home was more important because it made it easier for him to go out and destroy on the field. And that's what he did. When you look at some of the clippings and some of the information that's been put out there from some of his competitors about how, like Kyler Murray said, thank you and goodbye, but it was in a respectful way because he appreciated what he did on the field. So good young man on the field, off the field, and you couldn't ask for anything better. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year 3 times, 10-time All-Star. What else could you ask for? And he made Pittsburgh look well.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and share this video. It kind of ties into some of the dominance, not all, because we'll be here all day if we was to play it all. But, I'm going to share this brief video with everyone.
2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Aaron Donald, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh.
Wilson to throw it. And Wilson sacked. Second sack of the day. A fumble on the play as well. But they will call Russell Wilson down. Aaron Donald, the rookie, collapsing the pocket and finally getting to Russell Wilson.
Split to the left. And Jamal Charles is going to be hit for a loss. And the ball is loose. Loose ball in the football. Let's take a look here if he's down. Oh, that ball's out. That ball's out before he's
wides and all for Stanton, and that will take him out of field goal range. Aaron Donald got to him along with Ogletree.
First and 10 from the 38 off the fake to Lynch. Wilson in trouble, wrapped up
for the Rams. Sack number 2 on the season.
Moves forward on 4th down. Pick up the first. 10th play of the drive off the fake to Lynch. Wilson down back at the 36-yard line. The Rams have had empty backfield. Wilson on 3rd down. Under pressure. Sack for the 4th time today. 2nd time by Aaron Donald.
I mean, we can go on and on and on. And I think another thing when we talk about Aaron Donald, like his size, as like the attention that he commanded and still dominated. You talking about at times where it's 2 linemen, maybe a tight end, or 2 linemen, maybe a running back. I don't know. For me in my lifetime, I know there are a lot of great, D linemen. A lot of them are in the Hall of Fame, but for me, Aaron Donald in my lifetime, hands down, is the best defensive tackle, defensive lineman that I've seen.
Yeah.
And Senior and Mitch, you guys are a little older, so maybe you guys may feel a little indifferent.
I'll defer to you first,
Age
Mitch.
before beauty.
Well, look, I will admit there was one in Pittsburgh, Mean Joe Green, who did some wonderful things. You had Bubba Smith. You had a lot of great, but what he commanded, especially in this time and age when it was a passing game, and how he commanded double and triple team, and he was only 6 feet, 6'1". You couldn't ask for anything better. And I'll go further. I think he's probably the best defensive player out there.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah, the only other player I could think of that was as dominant was Reggie White, of course. The late great Reggie White, man. I mean, he was phenomenal. I mean, there's not enough words I can give for how dominant and just as a human being, just how he was just a man of faith, and just there was so many good things about him. But Aaron Donald definitely ranks up there as one of the highest that I've ever seen. One of the best at the position, and he could just move all around the line and just dominate from any part of the line. It was just amazing to see him. And again, I just wish he could have gave us one season. He broke my heart when he said he was retiring today. I thought Khan could pull that one off. I was hopeful.
Sean, do you have any words?
I mean, everybody else pretty much said it. I mean, just like Will Mitch said, yeah, Reggie White. I remember watching, his dominance, like Bruce Smith as well. But yeah, watching AD was something different. So
I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That's easy.
Oh yeah, he is.
That's easy.
That's easy.
Yeah. I don't think you'll find two people argue that.
Yeah, that's unanimous.
Yeah.
Because he dominated not only the passing game, but the running game as well.
Hold on. What did you say, Sean?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Senior. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, you go ahead, please.
Okay. I was just saying, wasn't it like 10 years, 4 defensive player of the years, or was it 3? You know what I mean? All pro every year, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl ring. Yeah, he's first ballot.
Our Senior.
Yeah, what I was saying is his game wasn't just a pass rusher, but he also played the run. He was a complete player.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, wow. Okay, so accolades, right? Defensive Rookie of the Year, First Team All-Pro, First Team All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, First Team All-Pro. He was a Pro Bowler every year in the NFL.
Yeah.
That man was nice. He was nice, and we just wanted to start this today off by giving him his flowers, right? Thanking him for the entertainment, the football that we love, that we all grew up on, and just being dominant at it. No matter who was in front of him, he commanded excellence, he demanded dominance, and he did just that. We'll go ahead and trickle over to the next news. Well, what today's really about. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as we talked last night. We kind of talked a little bit about it last night. And we were trying to figure out how this would work, if this would work. Would this be a true competition, as individuals like Lou Reddick and others stated that it would be a open competition? Kenny Pickett is no longer a Pittsburgh Steeler. What were your yes, clap, clap, clap. That's just me. But I'm gonna share the floor first. You guys give me your thoughts first. And Mitch, since you got the prop up there, since you got your RIP and you got your Kenny Pickett jersey up there, we'll let you go first.
I'm gonna pour a little bit out for my homie, just to get us started. But I can just say I just got back from patient first, and I'm on the Ambien. All this activity's got me stressed. So I mean, just bear with me because my mouth keep getting dry from the Ambien. But anyway, no, man. I'll be honest with you. I bought the jersey. Actually, I bought the George Pickens jersey first, and then they threw this in for $9.99. So I just, but so if you're a 2XL, hit my line, baby, hit my line. But anyway, hey man, I can say that I was surprised that they let him go. However, to say that it was going to be a competition, I knew right away. I said, there's no way that this can be a competition, and I would think that Kenny Pickett would be humble enough to know that it really wasn't a competition. I know numbers matter and all that stuff, stats and all that, but when you talk about who Russell Wilson is and what he's done in the game, I would have thought that the young man would have been happy to hold the clipboard for at least another season, but just based on how he acted and responded last year, I don't want to get too ahead of everything, but just the way he kind of, just watching him last season towards the end of the season, I just didn't see a guy who was pro Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he was pro himself. And so I kind of, in my heart of hearts and some comments I made to people close to me, I said, I don't think dude's going to make it. So when Russell Wilson came, hey, I was ecstatic, homeboy, from Richmond, Virginia, whatnot. And I just was like, man, how in the world would this work? And I really could not, in my mind, see a way that this would work. And I said, the only thing I can think of, maybe they're trying to frustrate him enough to where he would demand a trade and then jettison out of here, so it don't look like the organization did anything wrong. That may not be the case, but I'm needless to say, I'm glad he's gone. And again, 2XL, just $9.99. Hit my cash app. Holla at me.
Senior.
Am I surprised? 100%. I'm 100 because my point is, what is your backup plan?
Yeah.
I'm hoping you have something already in plan when you made this decision. But after reading some of the information I read before I got on here as well, that he didn't want to be in competition with Russell Wilson. Basically, he said initially he would compete with anybody, but once they signed Russell Wilson, supposedly his attitude changed and that he didn't want to compete. So if that's the case, he had to go because he's poison. Plus, how can you demand something when you haven't done anything to warrant it? That's just like saying I'm the man of the house, but I haven't paid a bill in the house. What have you done for me lately? He's done nothing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but yet he even like Mitch was talking about his attitude when they was playing was this Mason Rudolph. You come back in you didn't want to be a backup. So is it all true? I don't know, but that's the things that are coming out now, that he basically did not want to compete. So how can you not want to compete when you haven't proven yourself? But to me, I am surprised because unless they have a plan, or if they're going to draft a quarterback in the second round, which means now we're taking away another opportunity to build the team in some other capacity, it's going to hurt the team if we don't have a valid plan. I'm reading about Ryan Tannehill. We don't need him. We need somebody else.
Yeah. Sean?
So I was surprised, but the only reason why I was surprised was because I was like, oh, somebody wanted him? Like, he's a bum. That's what surprised me. Because I was like, oh, I saw the rumor, like, oh, they want to try. I'm like, man, who wants this dude? Like, he's a bum. So that's the biggest surprise, is that somebody actually wanted him. That's what surprised me. And then, like, seeing all the other stuff that came out, like, too, you heard about some of it before, like, oh, he didn't want to go back in, and then now, like, once Russell came, he was kind of like he didn't want to compete. I'm like, nah, that's hussy behavior right there. Like, come on, man, you can't be doing all that. Like, nah, you got to get from around here. Like, you threw for like a combined 4 Gs in like 2 years and 13 touchdowns. Like, who do you think you are, B? You don't got no, you know what I mean? Like, you don't got no clout. You're not good. You've done nothing. So yeah, that was the biggest surprise, was that somebody actually wanted him. But I mean, in terms of the plan, I think, like, it seems like right now, like they Khan cooking, man. He back there cooking. It seems like they got a plan. So hopefully they grab Fields and draft somebody to set it up. That's my hope. And it seemed like they might be doing that. So I like that Khan and Weidl team in the you know what I mean, in the front office.
I was surprised, but last night I kind of alluded to, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't on the team. And I think for me, it was more the fact that I think Mitch kind of spoke on it, and then Senior spoke on it. It was more so when we look at last year, right? And we know Matt Canada was an issue, but our inability to effectively move the ball 10 yards, right? We struggled getting first downs. And albeit play calling was atrocious, when it comes to just the basic play, like, we couldn't get 6-7 yards for a first down. I put that, and I said before, I put that on his inability to, one, be a leader at that position on the field. I also said that I felt that he does not know how to read the defense. Mm-hmm. A lot of people talked about preseason. And when we talk about preseason, we talk about him playing some people who may not have even been on a roster last year, right? And then you also talk about a vanilla defense. Nobody's doing any of the schemes that they're doing in the regular season. So for him in preseason, I think it was easier because he didn't have to read through all of the chaos that a defense can bring. He didn't have to read the defense to know which route was the best route. He didn't have to go from, wide receiver 1 and check down and come back. With all that being said, it showed even more in press conferences before he got hurt when he would basically deflect the question onto an errant throw onto the wide receivers, when he would say, well, the receivers got to run better routes. For me then, I knew then even more, because you guys know I didn't want us to draft him anyways. I knew then that this wasn't going to be a long relationship, because he already exhibited a me first attitude. He already exhibited he's not humble. He's not going to, I understood a reporter asked him a question. He's not humble. I'm gonna end that off. A reporter asked him a question: what have you learned from Mason Rudolph in these weeks of success? And his response was nothing. As a competitor, I understand if you feel that you're at the top of your game, but when you have not shown the ability to do the basics, how can you sit high on a throne that you yourself didn't build for you to get there? That's my take. And you all can respond to that.
I one up you on that one. What did it for me is when he was playing pretty bad and he came back from an injury. I don't remember what he had. He had something going on, and the reporter asked him, "Hey, what is it that Coach Tomlin's been saying to you that might motivate you to play a better game?" And I mean, he just unapologetically, still face and all that, just was like, "Look, I don't need Coach Tomlin to motivate me." He said, I motivate me. And it wasn't just what he said. I said that to somebody the other day, and it was like, well, I'd rather, say Wold and Sickum, and I'm like, no, but if you would have saw the demeanor and the way he said it, you would know that dude don't want to hear nothing. He had no respect for Coach Tomlin, and he wasn't receiving any information. And when I saw that, I said, oh, this man, bro, you coming behind the legacy Ben Roethlisberger, man, a legend. You can't come into this thing as if you've been here before, because you haven't. You might have been in Pittsburgh at the college right over there across the street, but you haven't been on this field leading this team in any successful way to have that type of attitude as if you belong. So I knew right then. I said that dude is gonna be short lived. I could see it there.
Senior, any comment?
Yeah. First of all, let's take a step back to Pitt. He only had one good year.
Yes.
That was year 5.
Yes.
One good year, and we elevated. And I'm gonna tell you why we elevated him, because of Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm.
We never took Dan Marino, and we figured this is almost a homegrown product, and we want to make sure we do right because we don't want to miss that opportunity. He is not a Dan Marino. He never had the talent of Dan Marino, but he tried to push it upon him. You mentioned about the Matt Canady. Yeah, Matt Canady was bad, but Matt Canady didn't throw to receivers that were open, and he missed them badly. Mm-hmm. Matt Canady also wasn't the quarterback who did not step up in the pocket versus running out to the right every time and being sacked. So you can't fault Matt Canady for his insufficiencies. The kid should not have been drafted in the top 20.
I agree.
He's not a top 20. He was not a top 20 pick. He could have been drafted in the 3rd or 4th round if somebody needed him. We took him when we shouldn't have taken him. And Terrence, I remember you kept saying we shouldn't have taken him, and I got that. But he was never ready for this level. But his head, like Mitch was saying, he thinks more of himself than who he truly is. And I don't know if from coaching, from family, or whomever, but somebody got in his ear and they taught him the wrong thing. He didn't humble himself. And I don't have a problem if it's a me attitude if I'm a beast. If I'm out there balling, I don't have a problem with it. But if you haven't proven yourself, talk to me later.
Right. Sean, before you go, let me just say this to Mitch real quick. Hey, Mitch, we can hear you, but your background noise is real heavy.
It is?
Yeah. So, yeah, if you can limit that, come back, try to come back in and let me know.
Give me a minute. I'm going to move from where I'm at.
All right. Sean, before you go, L Boogie, Lamont, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Pitts? What's going on, fellas?
Hey, that's good.
So everyone, before we go any further, Sean, we'll come back to you. Lamont is a childhood friend of mine. Been knowing Lamont since I was in diapers. We played baseball together. We played football together. Lamont, too, is from Pittsburgh. Lamont also, we just gave your boy a shout out, man. We just did a tribute to him, man. Wanted to give him his flowers.
That's love. I'm sure you'll appreciate it. That's love for real, for real. I'm gonna tell him to tap in too, man.
Yeah. So if you can, just from experience, man, because you've been with Aaron Donald, the entire time. Like, what has this been like for you to be able to just watch the dominance and everything that he's done on the field?
It's been amazing. I'm blessed. Like, I'll be honest with you, man. Seeing what he's done and seeing where his work ethic, his commitment, his attitude, just the fortitude that he has, man, it's something that I've never seen before, you know what I mean? And I'm blessed that his family even accepted me in a role. Like, I'm sort of his assistant. Like, we always got a running joke where I'm too big to be called an assistant, Aaron's too big to need a bodyguard. So, sort of his right-hand man at this present time. And to see what he's done and how he's done it on his sword and on his time, there's not too many people that can probably say they've done it this way. And from there,
Not only that, Lamar, I wonder, did you know this was going to be the last year? Or did you have an inkling of a thought that he was going to hang it up this year?
No, I didn't. To be honest with you, I don't really talk to him about personal issues. Unless he opens up to me, I try to keep it, because I'm an employer and a friend. So I try not to cross the line as far as just confidentiality and things like that. The less I know, sometimes the better.
Yeah.
So I let him tell me whenever he feels like it. I sort of knew whenever his teammates found out, a couple weeks ago. But until it's the final announcement and it's finalized, it's never a retirement.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Man, that's dope. Listen, we talked earlier, bro, and I told Lamont, I said, listen, Lamont, I strive for all the greatness that Lamont is. Lamont been out there with the Yo Gottis. Like, I mean, Lamont is out there just you need security, and this is top clientele. Sierra, you need security back in the bird. get out Lamont.
It's gonna come full circle or whatever.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
man. But we were talking about your boy Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
When you called in, real quick, Sean, go ahead and say whatever you was going to say real quick, and then I'll ask Lamont and Money Mitch the question about Kenny as well.
Just piggybacking off of what Senior said in terms of you got to take it back to college, like that one good year, because all the other 4 years were like mediocre, you know what I mean? And then that 1 year in the down ACC, he ate, and then like you said, the Dan Marino, the ghost of Dan Marino haunted them, but also I think they were thirsty for a quarterback because they didn't plan properly for when Big Ben was going to be leaving. So that kind of left them, you know what I mean? They didn't really have nobody. I mean, I know they went out and got Mitch in the free agency, but we was like, nobody was excited about that. I mean, we hyped ourselves up like, oh, he had that one good year, he made the Pro Bowl. But we knew, I mean, in the heart of our hearts, we knew he was on bum status too. But they reached, and like you said, but before he came back for that 5th year, he was predicted to be like a 7-6 rounder. So that's probably where he belonged, really, even with that 5th year. He should have been drafted late round. They could have waited for him and took somebody else in the first round, like a center or something else to help him even better. And yeah, he just didn't have to have that attitude that he had. Like, you ain't got stats in the NFL to back that up. Like you wasn't putting in no work. You wasn't throwing for 3 Gs. And even though Matt Canada was trash, Big Ben still threw for 3 Gs and 20-some touchdowns. So you know what I mean? Like he remixed and did his own stuff here and there, but he still threw for 3 Gs in that offense and double-digit touchdowns. So talent. If you're talented, you're still going to put up at least respectable numbers, like grown man numbers, not like JV or midget league. You know what I mean? QB numbers like that. Cool.
Lamont, so the question was, were you surprised when the Steelers released Kenny or traded Kenny Pickett?
I wasn't surprised. Yeah.
You're breaking up on us. You were breaking up on us.
He must be in a bad area.
Yeah.
I think he's driving.
Okay. Wait, hold on. All right, he dropped off. Go ahead, Mitch.
Was I surprised? Yes, I was surprised. I was surprised because I'm just going back to we don't do things like that often. Was I happy about it? Yes, I was. I really was happy about it. I wasn't. Me and Terrence talk a lot. He knows I wasn't out on Pickett, but I needed to see more. You know what I'm saying? I definitely needed to see more because he ain't do enough to make me feel like he was going to be our quarterback of the future. So I wanted to see more, but trading him away and get Russell Wilson, I'll take that every time. Times 4. But I still think we need to bring another quarterback in because he the only quarterback on the roster right now.
Yes.
So we definitely I still want Justin Fields. Can't nobody convince me otherwise. I want Justin Fields. I've been saying that from the get-go.
You see my dad put his head down. We're going to come to that. We definitely going to come to that because me and my dad debated about that earlier. But before I jump to the next question for you guys, want to bring in our next added panel guest. That's Keon Davis, one of my nephews. He attends at HBCU, North Carolina Central. What's going on, Neff? How you doing?
What's going on? I'm good. How you?
So, Neff,
yes,
real
sir.
quick, the question was, were you surprised that we released Kenny Pickett?
I was surprised we got rid of him. Yeah, I thought we were going to at least have him sit behind Russell Wilson so he can learn something before we got rid of him. But I guess a word on the street was he wasn't too happy about sitting behind Mason Rudolph. That he wasn't too happy about not getting a chance to have a Matt Canada free offense. which I understand, but Russell Wilson to me is like the substantial upgrade, and I don't even need to have you go have a competition for starting over you. So that's
agree.
It was
So my question to you guys, and also let me ask this question too. Whenever you guys aren't speaking, if you can mute your phones, just so we can eliminate the background noise when others are, that way we won't have to. And what I'll do is I'll call out in order, and then you guys can go. So my next question, and I'm gonna start at the top first. I'm gonna go Sean, Senior, Keon, Money Mitch, and then Will, right? If Kevin Colbert was still our GM, do you see Kevin Colbert making this move? Sean?
Negative. No. Kev wasn't. He wasn't aggressive. I mean, he wasn't aggressive, and he wasn't like. So Khan is aggressive, but I think that's also part of Andy Weidel too, from coming from Philly. So I think that tag team of Khan and Weidel, makes them a little bit more aggressive, and they want to win. But also Khan, he know how to work that cat magic too. So you know what I mean? He greased the numbers a little bit. I mean, not grease them, not illegally, but he know how to work it. So so it's still a good deal for that person and for the team. So yeah, Colbert wouldn't have did that. He'd have been, Kenny, you all right? We'll be son. He wouldn't have did that.
Senior.
First, I want to give Colbert his respect. He did some great things for us. I got to give him that much. But as we get further on, I agree with Sean. He definitely would not have made this decision because he wanted to please the Pittsburghers and not do what was best for the football team.
Keon?
I don't think Kevin Colbert would have done anything. I think Omar Khan is significantly more aggressive, and I also like how the way Omar Khan manages the contracts. Like when we signed Patrick Queen is like one of the top linebackers, and we signed him for a good deal. There's like 7 linebackers getting paid higher than him and aren't better than him. So I just think like last time I remember was Kevin Colbert still in the office with that Minka.
Yes.
So that's the last time that's the last move I liked from him was that. But after that, I couldn't really see him doing moves this efficiently.
All right. Money Mitch.
I agree with almost every word that Sean said. And like I posted in our group, Kevin Colbert would never do nothing like this. No. He wouldn't have done the series of moves that have taken place over the last 48 hours. He would never have done that. And Senior was right. I will give him his respect for what he's done in the past. But since nephew said it, since that Minka move, a lot of it been a wash. And like from the draft picks, from the free agent pickups, the trades, all of it been a wash. And I swear that Khan is a big, big breath of fresh air.
Will Mitch with the Pickett jersey. Oh, hold on, Will. Hold on, let me unmute your mic. All right, go ahead.
As Bubba Duck would say, Terry Bradshaw rolling in his grave right now. Kevin Colbert choking on the Permane Brothers sandwich right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, them brothers hurt right now. That's what's going on. Hey, Kevin Colbert, absolutely. People that Money Mitch know. I've been saying package Kevin Colbert and been up 3 years ago and said you can ship any of them out because I just felt like Kevin Colbert had been an inhibitor to this team really competing in a way for the reason why we're in the situation we're in. We're still waiting on number 7. So, I just think that he needed a win on the eve of his retirement. And, this was a big deal for him to get Kenny Pickett. And I think he really felt like he did the team proud and he did the team right when he picked him. But everybody was telling us that, hey, this guy is not the guy, and most of us felt that way. So again, just want a shameless plug. I have a Kenny Pickett jersey, 2XL. My Cash App is We'll Do It $1. Please Cash App me. I'll give it to you for what I paid for it, $9.99. All right, I'm out of here.
You might have to pay somebody to take that don't want one of those Kenny Pickett jerseys. Hey, we about to
you
blur it out.
Matter of
wild,
fact,
man.
the first one to call me right now after this podcast, get it free. Just text me your address. It's coming to
Hey,
you.
hey, Will, does that bottle go with that jersey?
Oh no,
Right.
that bottle staying here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's that monkey shoulder, and I got a monkey on my shoulder right now. I got to get it off, baby.
Hey,
Yes,
Will,
sir.
So-
Will, can we put a tag of 0 next to that 8 and make it a
Plexico burst.
Hey, look,
nah, man.
can I say one more thing, Terrence, before you go?
Go ahead.
Man, look, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. They really bailed us out. I'm gonna tell you right now. Shout out to the other Pennsylvania team, because I don't know no other team would have gave up those golden nuggets they gave up. They didn't give us a gold bar. A gold bar would have been a first round pick or maybe even a second round pick, but they gave us some gold nuggets. And I really am happy for them. I was dogging my boy out all day. He was mad. He's an Eagle fan, so he was pissed about what they gave up. But I'm like, hey, bro, this is love. This is Pennsylvania love, baby. So I'll take it. And lastly, before I go, I just want to say that Killer King Khan, he's killing it right now. He got me so nervous that I bought this George Pickens jersey, but I'm scared to take the tag off because I ain't too sure he gonna make the cut. You know what I mean? So, hey, this one might be on the market too, but it's gonna be an upcharge on this one. You know what I mean? And it come with some fresh emollients. But go ahead, baby. I'm good.
So some of you have already alluded to it, right? We talk about, why is Kenny no longer in Pittsburgh? Because the Steelers obviously they weren't looking to off him, right? They were looking to have him sit behind Russell, take some notes, see how it's done from a veteran standpoint, and then go out and lead as maybe some of the tips he may picked up. But now reports are coming out that after he was told that Russell, after the whole Russell signing, that he was then demanded or requested a trade. So with that being said, just want to shout out, Mom is here too. She made that clear on Facebook. Thank you, Mom, for continue being a supporter, man. Thank you for sharing all of my episodes and everything else that I do. I greatly appreciate it. You cannot go anywhere without a support system, and I am grateful for those that are extremely supportive, as I do try to show that back. So thank you very much. But when we talk about we talk about him not in Pittsburgh, but it's not that the Steelers didn't want him, it's that he actually requested to be traded. And the reason why this is my question, right? This is my question about this whole situation. He didn't want to be in Pittsburgh to be behind Russell. Why? In my thoughts, I thought it was because he didn't want to be a backup, right? But you go to another team where you're definitely going to be a backup. So maybe I'm missing something. So, you guys chime in. We'll start again from, we'll go from Singer, Sean, Will, Mitch, Money Mitch, and then Keon. So
See,
Singer,
the mistake you're making is that he had an option. He had a choice. His choice was to ask for a trade. After that, he had no leverage. They sent him where they wanted to send him. So he's going to Philadelphia. He will never play unless Jalen gets hurt. So good for him. He got what he wants. He's going to be a journeyman like some of these others, like Mr. Trubisky. He'll be on the bench. He'll get money. He'll get paid not to play. But Kenny Pickett is done. Unless Jalen Hurts get hurt, he is done.
Sean?
So, yeah. Now, I did read, though, that clipboard Kenny had like a couple other people that wanted him. I don't know. They ain't say the names, but they said there was a couple other teams that possibly wanted him. But yes, you're right. He ain't had no leverage to say, oh, like I want to go here. He ain't had no leverage. So they sent him to like, all right, well, we'll send you over here. Whoever gave him the best offer. So yeah, like you said, Senior, he going back up and Jalen is entrenched as the starter. Like he's an MVP candidate. If they would have won, probably would have been Super Bowl MVP. Threw for 3 Gs last year, 20-some touchdowns. So he throws for double-digit touchdown. Something Kenny only he combined in his 2 years to do. So he ain't had no leverage. So they sent him to whoever gave the best offer is what I think.
Will Mitch.
Hey, I just say he better be lucky they didn't send him to that used car lot in Arizona called the Cardinals, because they call that Pittsburgh. They call that Pittsburgh West, right? But hey, bro, I think he's where he belongs. It's unfortunate that that it happened the way it did. But I kind of think, playing devil's advocate, that it was a perfect setup. There's a thing called a perfect storm. Where else when in history can you get a player of the caliber of Russell Wilson to come in and play at a veteran minimum, $1 million, and then it just was the perfect setup. And I think it was just the exit strategy was provocated when they told him that, hey, you're not QB1 anymore. And so I think they had to anticipate based on his behavior last season that this guy probably was going to quirk out. And they knew it, because how did this trade pull off so fast? I mean, I know, the Eagles, I'm pretty sure they won't just sit around saying, "Ooh, we'll take your leftover quarterback." I think they probably had an eye out for one, but man, the way this thing went down, man, it just seemed like it was ordained. It was destined to happen. And I'm just happy that it happened. And the organization, I think, is still coming out looking good in this, in that, it didn't look like they did anything wrong. Anybody would have jumped at the opportunity to get Russell Wilson for $1 million. So good on the organization, bad on Kenny Pickett.
Absolutely. Money Mitch.
Sean said that it was some other teams that offered for him. Yeah, I call BS on that. He ain't put enough film out there to be like, you know what? I really want to trade for that guy. Nah, he didn't, bro. But I mean, Philly wanted him. Thank goodness they was able to give up what they gave up for him. He messed himself up when he demanded a trade. Now, like I said, he's going to be a journeyman. I think Senior said that. He's going to be a journeyman. He's not going to start unless someone gets hurt. He messed himself up. Now he's going to be he's setting himself right in the Mitchell Trubisky sweepstakes. He right in there with him. So hey, him and Mitchell Trubisky could be all over the place, playing for 1,500 teams, doing all that stuff. Man, I'm all in on Russell Wilson. I'm gonna keep saying this. I want Justin Fields,
and we're gonna definitely get to that conversation. I can't get over these names. You got your Mitchell Trubisky's, you got the clipboard Kenny Clipboard Pickett. I mean,
Clipboard Kitty is crazy.
Hey, that's hilarious. Keon.
Well, I feel bad. I feel bad for Ken's situation. I see why he's frustrated. Matt Canada was very detrimental to his development, I think, and it didn't help him at all. So it's like it's the best move for the Steelers as a team, but it sucks for Kenny. But he can kick. As a fan, I'm ready for Russell Wilson, and I'm ready to win. And we got some value out of his trade, so it's good for the organization. Bad on him. He got to be a journeyman, like I was saying.
So when we talk about Kenny Pickett,
can I say one more thing? Because on the Canada thing, though, they said he wanted Canada back for that third year. So
and that's what I was about to say.
Oh,
that's exactly what I was. No, go. No, I'm gonna piggyback off you. No, go.
No, yeah, but they were saying like he wanted Canada back. So like, if you want dude back, you can't blame dude for you being a bum. Like you just a bum. Like that's not all Canada fault. I say it's like maybe 50-50. Like 50% Canada being a bum, 50% Clipboard Kenny being a bum. Like it was just a bum marriage right there, and it just led us down this horrible path.
Will Mitch?
I was going to say, the problem is Mason Rudolph killed that argument for him in front of the whole nation can see that, hey, that he's running the same offense that you've been in. And he came and 3-4 games, over 300 yards, took us to the promised land. So Kenny Pickett had no argument, And that's why I'm really shocked that the Eagles would take him. But, maybe they saw that comeback Kenny in him. And I think that, in a pinch, they think that probably would be his best role, not as a full-time starter, just as a pinch hitter from time to time. So, we'll see how his career turn out. But that's
Money Mitch.
Hey, to piggyback off what Will just said, they was running the same offense, but the person calling the plays was better. I will say that, because Lord knows Kennedy could not call plays for nothing. He was way off schedule. The situational football part was horrible. But like Sean said, it was a bum merge. It just was, and I'm just happy we ain't got to deal with it no more. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just happy to move on. We moved on from that. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Feelings gonna be hurt. It is. It's what Mike Tomlin say. Such is life in the NFL.
So my rebuttal, or my addition to everything is that yes, Sean, he did want Canada dry. When they were talking about, offensive coordinators, the one person that they went to that they asked was Kenny Pickett. And Kenny said that he wanted Matt Canada. He did not want another offensive coordinator. So that part of that, I put that on Kenny as well. The other part of that is we knew Canada dry had no rhythm. We saw that when we do jet sweep wide receiver reverse, or we do the same draw out of shotgun, or we do the same bubble wide receiver screen, or whatever it was that we constantly were doing, right? We already knew what we were getting. But when it comes to the plays that were when it comes to making the plays, when it comes to, making the right reads, hitting the open receiver, those things Kenny did not and could not do. So again, while the rhythm, the offensive play calls were a problem, Kenny's inability to do those things needed from a quarterback also played a problem. So it was half and half. We already knew what we were getting from Matt Canada from Ben's last year, and we were complaining about the plays or the rhythm of the plays then. So I don't think anybody had an expectation for it to get better. So with that being said, Kenny not getting a fair shot. Kenny got a fair shot. I think Kenny got more than a fair shot. We talk about a quarterback, a first-round quarterback who threw 13 touchdowns and 13 interceptions in 2 years. That's 2 years total. And you talk about the development, as Keon alluded to earlier. The development, okay, maybe so, but I look at the quarterback coach for his development, not necessarily the offensive coordinator. And his quarterback coach, last time I checked, I thought his quarterback coach was calling the plays, right? So, offensive coordinator has direction of the team, but an offensive coordinator also, a quarterback coach also is the one that, when you talk about the development of a quarterback, is who you're looking to more to lean on to help develop your QB. I just think that Kenny was way over his head. Senior alluded to it earlier. I've been addressing it forever. Kenny's first 4 years at Pitt looked just like what our numbers look like now. I'm not making this up. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Kenny was throwing for no more than 1,800 yards his first 4 years. He was averaging 13 and 6, 6 and 6. Like, his numbers stayed consistent. And for me, as a football player, when I see consistent numbers and then I see one off-year jump, I don't believe that off-year jump is who that player is. That is the only reason why I didn't want us to get Kenny, but I also understood that we had a subpar QB draft that year. You had Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, and Kenny Pickett, and that just says it all, because you see where all three of them now are. Senior?
Don't forget about Brock.
Another thing that determines a man is if I want to play with that man, that's telling you something. His receivers had come out and said, we don't want to play with him. We want Mason Rudolph. So that should tell you something that was going on for a while, that these players were so frustrated. I mean, George Pickens is one of the best receivers out there, and you can't even throw it at his feet, throw it somewhere near him. He couldn't even get close to the ball. And I understand the frustration that they had. My thing is this, is that when you talk about Canada, you talk about Kenny, I'm going to tell y'all now, you still got to put some of that blame back on Tomlin. He was there watching those practices. He knew what he had it in line. Why not make the change? Because it wasn't benefiting your team. So why would you give Kenny what he wanted? For 3 years, everybody was crying for this man to go, and they kept bringing him back. So when y'all speak about Omar, y'all speak about Colbert, I'm glad we got a change because we need a new mindset shift. Otherwise, we're not getting that 7th Super Bowl ring.
So you're right. I'm not going to throw his shade on Tomlin. You already know, but you're right. Tomlin does, deserves some of that as well. Before we move forward, I just want to go ahead and do a shout out. I want to do a shout out to my man Larry. He's going to forever be my QB1, Bowie State University. Even though he's a Ravens fan, we thank you for Patrick Queen, and we thank you for Deshaun Elliott. We'll definitely make sure we treat those guys right and show them what the AFC North, the best AFC North team really looks like, and how you really treat your team and your players, and how it's really a family-oriented environment. Don't tell you guys about it. So, Flock Nation, we'll see y'all. Hey, he said that's a low blow. That's my guy. I love you, man. Appreciate you, man. You've always been supportive. So, I want to ask you guys one final question. With everything that has happened thus far, right? So now I think we're down to one quarterback. We're down to 3 or 4 wide receivers. I think 5 now because we just picked up Van Jefferson. I think we have Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, George Pickens, Miles Boykins, and then one other receiver that I'm not remembering. But with that being said, in the NFL draft, pick number 20. I have made this statement to Senior earlier. He disagreed. Money Mitch talked about it as well. I said, now that the Pittsburgh Steelers have 7 picks now in the draft, right? And we only have 1 QB on the roster. Do we go ahead and take those? Do we now package some picks and send them off to Chicago for Justin Fields? Or do we still try to go ahead and get a QB in the draft this year? And since he was so
first.
And since he was so adamant about it, I'm going to go ahead and let Senior go first. And then we're going to go from the bottom row. We're going to go Senior to Keon to Money Mitch to Will Mitch then Sean.
Let me say this. If we had gotten Justin Fields first, I don't have a problem with it. But you cannot bring Justin Fields to Pittsburgh behind Russell Wilson and my son, Terrence Pitts Jr., saying sit him for a year. Sit him for a year.
I'm muting Senior. I feel like I'm on part of the interruption right now. I'm muting Senior. Hey, do not shoot my government out there.
All right, I got you.
Go ahead, Senior.
But look, my problem with this is this. If Russell balls out, Justin Fields is not going to stay.
Yeah.
You got to tag somebody. Who are you going to tag? Are you going to tag Russell Wilson or are you going to tag Justin Fields, who hasn't proven anything really in 3 years? Yes, he's been with a bad team. I would love to have Justin Fields, but my problem with this whole thing is, as I was telling Pitts from Pitts and Push, you cannot bring Justin Fields in and let him sit all year, and then he's the free agent. You got to pay him a lot of money. So are you going to pay him, or are you going to just let him walk after giving up all that capital? Well, Sean, I see you got your hand up. So hold on. Terrence, let Sean address that one.
I will, Sean. Hold on, Senior. Why do you? When we spoke on this earlier, you made that statement as well. When you say he hasn't done nothing, and I'm asking you a question. The same excuses, and I call these excuses, the same excuses we give Kenny when we talk about Matt Canada and what he didn't have in an offensive coordinator and all of that. How is it that we don't give that same extension of an excuse to Justin Fields when he had 2 head coaches and 2 new offensive coordinators?
I'm glad you asked that question. Where's Kenny Pickett now?
What
did we do with Kenny Pickett?
He's been shipped off.
So you're answering my question. Justin Fields has potential. He has the capability. He hasn't shown it. Wait. He hasn't shown it. And yes, a lot of it's been on the coaching staff. A lot of it might have been bad players around him. I get all that. But you cannot have Russell Wilson and then say, I'm going to sit Justin Fields for a year and then think he's going to re-sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're wasting capital. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. I just think that his numbers, statistically, each year, I don't think they equate to Kenny Pickett numbers.
I don't
think
have a
his
problem.
numbers were better.
I don't
than
have a
Kenny's
problem with that.
numbers.
I don't have a problem. All I'm saying is you're wasting capital for a player who probably won't stay, especially if Russell Wilson balls out.
Okay, you're right. Sean, you had something to say, then we'll drop back down to Keon. Go ahead, Sean.
I mean, I can wait till I can wait. I can wait.
You sure?
I'll wait. I'll
No.
wait.
All right, go ahead, Keon.
I agree with Senior on this. I feel like if we were going to get Justin Fields, we should have got him first before getting Russell Wilson. Especially since Russell Wilson was such on a cheap deal. He has to be our guy because I don't see him sitting behind it. If we go trade for Justin Fields and he's a free agent next year, wow, are we going to pay him that money like Senior said? So I think we should just in the draft we stay put at 20 and we either go for another receiver and be more explosive or go for a center. But I think we should just stay put with Russell Wilson and build the weapons around him before we trade for another QB, in my opinion.
All right, Money Mitch.
Okay. I sat and really thought about what Senior said. I don't agree with all of it. Some of it I do agree with though. But I have a question for you, Senior. I know because I have to ask this question before I say what I'm gonna say.
Listen, we got a funny guy in the comment section that I just got to post this.
What'd he say?
I said this was going to be the Kenny Pickett Get Back show, and I already knew I was going to have one. But then you know exactly who this is. Old football teammate Andre Chase, Green Bay Packer fan.
About Kenny.
A Green Bay Packer fan. We don't know what they doing in Green Bay. A Green Bay Packer fan, you know. Hi, Andre. Hi, Andre. How are you doing, sir? You're more than welcome to join us if you like, sir. But go ahead, Money Mitch.
Okay, Senior. So you said if Russell Wilson kill, what we gonna do with Justin Fields? So let me ask you this: if if Russell Wilson doesn't kill, and we let him walk, then what do we do after that without having the next guy already on the roster? We wouldn't have to take the next draft pick to get a quarterback. We already had a quarterback on the roster.
I don't disagree. In the earlier part, we talked about, was it a surprise to get rid of Kenny Pickett? And I said yes, because what are our other options after that? Right. I would love to have Justin Fields, but my only ask is that if we bring Justin Fields over, we got to have some type of assurance that Justin's going to be there next year. Otherwise, we can lose 2 quarterbacks in 1 year and not have anybody next year after that.
Okay. All right. So
I'm going to mute myself out for a minute. Y'all keep talking. If you finish and nobody rebuts, y'all can go up to Will Mitch next.
Okay. What you saying, I don't feel like it's wrong, but this is my thing. So because the price, I'm only going on what I read from big time NFL insiders like Adam Schefter and those type of guys. His value is dropping. I'm talking about as far as Justin Fields for trade. So you wouldn't give up a 4th round pick for Justin Fields?
100. I would run to the table if they're gonna give me a for 4. Yes, I'll take that chance.
Okay,
but I cannot give up a 1 or 2 right now because we need that capital.
No, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not even in the question for me. Now I'm not giving up a 1 or 2 when I know I don't have to.
If we can get him for a 4th round, I would take him with the chance of whatever might happen because he will make our team better. I agree with that one.
What about a 3rd? We got 2 of them now.
I'd give him up for a 3rd. Now, one thing we also got to remember, we lost our 4th round pick.
Yeah.
That 4th round pick went to Philadelphia.
No. We had 2 4th round picks.
We had 2? Then I'll take them. I'll take them.
Right.
Hey, then I'm with you. I'll take him. I'll take that chance.
Now, I'm only asking you this because strategically, there was a way to get Justin Fields. You see what I'm saying? Without costing us a whole lot. And I think a lot of people thought that the 1st or the 2nd round pick was going to be the picks. And I just don't see that. I see 3rd or 4th maxing. You see what I'm saying?
If Omar Khan is that smart and we can get him for a 3rd or 4th pick, I'll take him.
Okay. Now, the first to me, to piggyback on what he asked, I think the 1st round pick should be a center, and the 2nd round pick should be a wide receiver. Because the guys that we have at wide receiver, besides Pickens, this ain't it. You trading away Deontay left a hole. So
Big hole.
we definitely need some wide receiver. And this draft class has a lot of receivers. So I think that's what we need a direction to go. Even if whether we get Justin Fields or not, I feel like we still need to go in that direction.
I think after we gave up Deontay, we made an additional hole where now we don't take a tackle. We don't take a center. Now you got to pick and choose.
Right. I agree. Go ahead, Sean.
Will? You're on mute, Will.
Before Will jump in, Andre, I just sent you a message on Facebook. Text me. I just sent you my phone number. Send me a text. Go ahead, Will.
Well, one thing we all can agree on is that the draft board has changed based on the current events. So with that being said, I look at the team needs right now. We're spending 3 times the money on the defensive side of the ball. And we have to right that ship so that we're a balanced team. And so what's clear is we're in a situation now where we don't have a sufficient backup, and if you look at the quality of what's out there, Justin Fields is really one of the really only places we can go if we was trying to get a free agent quarterback. If we're not going to get Justin Fields, it's quite possible that they may make a move, to try to grab a quarterback with the 1st pick. We have to think about that. Is that possible? Caleb Williams said, hey, he don't want to go to Chicago. He said he don't want to come to Washington. He's going to be dangled out there. If we can make a move, package a couple of picks and move up to grab a Caleb Williams or somebody like that, that may be the move. I have no idea what the head shed is thinking, but what's clear is we have to get healthy at quarterback. We have to get another, star wide receiver to go with Justin Pickens. With George Pickens, with George Pickens. And then we have to get a center, somebody that we can develop. But, we're going to be making some moves over the next couple of days. And right now it's anybody's guess which way we're going to go. But the draft board has definitely changed. So I'm just here for the ride. I just want to see it work out. And I want to see us shift a little bit more towards the offensive side of the ball so we can compete with the division and the Kansas Cities out there, because we're stout on defense. We're good to go.
So before you go, Sean, Andre, I just sent you a message on Facebook. Go on the message. I put my phone number. Send me a text so I can send you the link so you can join real quick.
Hey, can I say something to Andre? I should have worked the hell out of you harder when I was coaching.
All right, go ahead, Sean.
What was it, me or was it Keon next?
Keon. Did Keon have a rebuttal? Did you have a rebuttal, Keon?
Nah, I was good. You can go ahead.
Okay.
So right. I'm with you, Pitts, that we still need to grab Justin Fields. And like Mitch said, because we could get him for the 4th rounder. But here's my thing. Grab Justin Fields and still draft for QB. Not with the 1st round, though. Like first, 2nd round, we getting a center, a tackle, maybe even another DB, even though we got Dante Jackson. We still might need another corner. But 3rd, 4th round, because we still got a couple 3rd, 4th round, I'm thinking get Jordan Travis, because he might fall because of that injury. Now you got Russ, Fields, and Jordan Travis. They all sit behind Russ, learn how to cook. Because Justin got his little but if he learn how to cook behind Russ, you could still you don't got to pick up his option. You got the man with the cap that know how to work some contracts. Give him a little deal like, look, they good at giving him like them 3-year prove it deal, something like that. Because nobody gonna pick up that $25 million option yet for Fields, but work out a like I said, 3-4 year deal. That's a little bit lower, but still gives him some good incentives. So that way you got your plan for when Russ leaves. Even if Russ ball out, which I don't think Russ gonna like ball out like MVP. If you just give me what Russ did last year, that's way more respectable than what we had the previous 2 years. So you can still let Russ leave. That way you got Fields and Jordan Travis. They both had time to learn how to cook from Russell, see how you operate as a QB. You work out a deal, you let them battle it out for the starting QB next year. Or you could again work out a deal with Russ, but Russ probably gonna want some coin. And we not gonna give Russ no 35, 45 million. So that's the way I see it. Also with a receiver, you still T Boyd is still out there. You can sign him, and you still draft a receiver too. So you just setting yourself up nicely. Draft a receiver, sign T Boyd or Mike Williams. Even I mean, he gets busy when he can stay healthy, but for the most part, you know what I mean. He okay, but you can sign him or Tyler Boyd, and then you got a nice little mixture going on. Your offense is not, you know what I mean. You got depth. You got your plan, your succession plan in place. And real quick, to address your man Andre Chase, like he has an identity with Arthur Smith. Offense is predicated on the run game. The fact that you're a Green Bay fan, I mean, y'all got Jordan Love. He was nice this year. He didn't beat y'all, however. I mean, y'all got busy in the playoffs a little something, but y'all not repeating that. I mean, Jordan Love's good. He's better than Kenny Pickett. I would take him. But yeah, cut that Green Bay stuff out, man. Yeah.
Hold on, Senior.
Hey, I got a question for Sean.
Hold on. Before you go, do you want to rebut anything that Sean said, Senior?
First of all, there's no way in the world. There's no way in the world, Sean. You take another quarterback after you bring Justin Fields over and draft. You can't. You don't. The draft is commodity. That's value. That's like gold. We gotta hit on these spots. We can't take another quarterback, whether it's Jordan Travis or anybody else like that. We need. You've already said it. We need receivers. We need centers. We need tackle. We need a corner. We need another linebacker. So to take a quarterback, if you get Justin Fields, that's not happening. You can't do that.
I'm telling you, Senior. I feel it coming. If it happened, you remember I called it.
If it happened, if it happens, I owe you dinner. Terrence, whatever Pitts knows, he knows where I live.
All right, go ahead, Money Mitch.
He froze.
Money Mitch or Will Mitch? Go ahead, boss.
Hey, so I have a wild card. So y'all talking about slinging all this money around. Of course, Russell Wilson, if he balls out, he's going to win a deal next year. But what about Najee Harris? What are we going to do about him? Because, you know, he has a max deal day coming. So what do we do about him? And that's for the group.
Well, Najee gets his money. I don't think we don't resign Najee.
Yeah, they picked up his option. They picked up his 5th-year option.
Yeah, but that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about if he balls out, you got 2 quarterbacks and you got Najee. So then what do you do?
Tag Najee.
Najee, you can give him, but Najee's not gonna get top dollar. He's not gonna get Saquon money. He could get away with 9, 8 around there. I can't give Najee 10. I can't give you 10, Najee.
I think all that depends.
A year.
I think all that depends on what he does in Arthur Smith's scheme this year.
So Chase has joined us, everyone. What's going on, man?
What's good, guys?
Hey, what's up?
So I got a question for you guys. As Steeler fans and guys have been watching the Steelers like in detail. You know, as fans of other teams, like we don't always watch you guys in detail, but as fans, you're watching play by play, year by year, draft by draft. Like every play is got detail to it. So my question is like, you know, Mike Tomlin is a great coach, but where do you see this offense going in the next 2 to 3 years? Like with Russell coming in, football is still a game of chess from a general managing standpoint. So you bring in Russ for 1 year. Where does that offense go the year after, or even this year?
So I'll go ahead and jump in the double does line first. So first for me, when it comes to the detail of the Steelers, right? One thing about the Steelers was this: we are predicated. Our defense is our strong suit, always have been, right? Our offense, the thing that we ask our offense to do is don't hurt the defense, don't hurt the team, don't turn over the ball, right? But also we expect you to put up some points, right? We can't lean on the defense for the points. In our offense, we don't have a lighted up, we're the best passing team offense. It's more balanced running, right? We're supposed to be that pounding ground. We're that physical blue collar Pittsburgh ground the ball. So for us, it always starts on the ground. Now we got away from that, and one thing that we don't talk about often is the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers also for 2 years in a row have had 2 starting entire offensive line groups, right? So we have not had any continuity when it comes to the offensive line. So it starts there, and as it trickled there, we would get some good play from the line, not so good. They weren't meshing at the same time. Honestly, we just need our offense not to mess up, don't lose the game for us. We have great talent. We have good receivers. We have young, good talent. They use Washington correctly. They didn't use him correctly this year, in my opinion. They mostly put him in on blocking downs. They didn't use him in the passing game as much. But when you talk about the tight end and now we got to rebuild the receivers, but I like the skill players that we have. Our missing piece, as you know, as a football player, our missing piece was a leader on the offense. We had no quarterback. Our offense was so immature last year, whether it was Kenny Pickett's immaturity in the press conferences, whether it was Kenny Pickett's inability to read different defenses and throw the ball to open receivers, or whether it was George Pickens' immaturity, him half running a route, him whining during the route, or if it was Deontay Johnson's immaturity while he running the route, he half running the route, we fumble the ball. The ball's literally right there in front of him. He look at it, turn around, and walk to the sideline. We had no leadership on the offensive side. And that's where we lacked tremendously. We haven't had any leadership. And defense can help, but defense ain't help leading the offense. You need somebody on offense to help lead the offense. So that's my point. Senior, I see you had your hand up.
First of all, Andre, how you doing?
Good, sir. How you doing? Good to see you.
You as well. His question was not about this year, but it's going forward after this year. And that's a very good question. We have to find someone to carry the mantle because we let Ben Roethlisberger carry that mantle for so long, and the flame went out, and we weren't ready to reignite it with anyone else. And we're getting ready to fall on that sword again if we don't get this right this year. We will be set back again because Baltimore has Lamar. Cincinnati has Barrows. Whether Deshaun is 100% or whatever, all these other teams in the AFC, they have somebody. You get Josh Allen. You have Kansas City. You have Mahomes. If we don't get it right this year, we're going to be set back for another 4 to 5 years. So I agree with you. Where do we go from here? We don't know unless that's why we're having this argument about Justin Fields. If we go for Justin Fields, we better have a plan to keep him after this year, or otherwise we're going to be in the same position we are from this year to next year.
So, Coach, what makes you think that? I mean, because the way Chicago is stacking up right now, I mean, Keenan Allen isn't that great of – well, I'm not going to say he's a bad receiver, but he's a little old for NFL standards. But I see Chicago trying to build around Fields. What makes you think that you guys can put your eggs in that basket?
I'm not, but I guarantee you this: Chicago's drafting Caleb Williams. They're not going to pass on Caleb Williams.
That would be a good move.
They're not going to pass on Caleb Williams. And again, we don't even know if Justin Fields is the answer. But what's coming out after that? I heard somebody say, I don't want a Bo Nix. I don't want a J.J. McCarthy. Some of these other quarterbacks, hell, I'll take Michael Penix before I take them. And everybody's sleeping on him. Get him in the 3rd or 4th round. But I'm not giving up much capital or value to get these other players. So, again, I agree with you. But Caleb Williams is going to Chicago.
Go ahead, Sean.
So when you say, like, where's our offense going into, like, with 1 and 2 years, you know what I mean? What is our identity? And similar to what Pitts was saying, like, we got Arthur Smith. That's what we brought him in for. He builds his game off the running game. We got 2 good backs. Our line, I mean, pass blocking, they sus. But we know running the ball, that you've seen the end of the season, how we run the ball. And I do think we beat Green Bay, but I'm just but if we build around the running game and he's built off the play action, any quarterback that comes in, for the most part, can learn that and build off the play action where you kind of relieve the QB of as much responsibility and everything is built around the running game so that when they stack the box, bang, you could pass, you can get your play action on, you can do, whatever. Because everybody knows even in the playoffs, you still going to have to run the ball. Look at the Chiefs. They had to run the ball. Now, whether it was Mahomes taking off himself or, handing it off to Pacheco, but they had to run the ball to get that W. So if we build off the running game, which that's Arthur Smith's strength, and the play action game, I think we'll be fine with, the plan in place, which, again, they got Russ. We talked about either bringing in Justin Fields and drafting a QB, which I said Jordan Travis. But I do like I like Penix too, senior. I didn't think he would be there when we got him in the late rounds. Like, I don't think he'll fall to the 3rd, but he could. But so either Penix or Jordan Travis, the backup, to be the 3rd string to Fields, and then Russ is the one. Then once Russ bounce, one of them take over, and you got your plan, you got your offense.
Will, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I was going to say, we as relates to the offense, Pittsburgh's been living off its former glory for a long time. It's been known for smash mouth defense. But unfortunately, because of that defense, the league created a bunch of rules that made it an offensive league. And we've been woefully absent in trending towards the offense. You just look at the salaries of our team, the way we're constructed. We're heavily defense. Three times the money is on the defensive side of the ball. So it's been it's a shift in mentality, and I think that I'm optimistic in that we brought in some coaches from the outside, which makes it seem like we're trending in the right direction. In order for us to be able to compete and win at a high level, we're going to have to balance this team out. And until they do that, we're going to struggle. So I'm hopeful that, we'll through this draft, through this process now that Kenny Pickett is gone, that they understand that we have to build an offense around Russell Wilson so that he can be successful and buy us a little time, even though he say he's going to play 5 or 6 years in this league. That's going to be predicated on how he does this season coming up, because the whole NFL is watching to see how this guy plays. So whether he stays with us or leaves, how he plays is going to determine that. So I say build around him. We already have a strong run game. We have a couple pieces at wide receiver that we need to fill in. I think we need another star to the caliber of Pickens, and then sign Najee to a deal, so we have to worry about his money. Get ready to pay Warren his money, and we got some people we got to pay, to solidify what we have right now. So we'll see where we go.
Did anybody, Chase or Keon, did you wanted to jump in?
Yeah. So when you ask, what is like our identity? I think our identity, like a junior mentioned, it's always been run the ball off, and we've been trying to establish that lately. I think with the addition of Arthur Smith, he'll help us do that. And with the addition of Russell Wilson, I think he'll be able to manage the game well and give us a substantial upgrade. But ideally, I would want to get Fields as a backup because we know Russ is getting old. And if we don't put somebody behind him in knock on wood, Russell Wilson doesn't play well, we don't have a backup plan. So I think Russell Wilson right now is just a bridge quarterback, and we do need to have a quarterback for the future for us not to be in that hole. Because as Senior mentioned, all the other teams in the AFC already have a quarterback. So if we miss out on a chance to get another one for the future and Russ doesn't play well, I think that puts us backwards 5 steps.
So, Chase, you go ahead, boss.
Because
I got a question for you on your Packers. Go ahead.
Sure. So I just think that, the identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is very past tense. I do think that Russell can get you over the hump and get you, if you guys can draft a QB that can come in behind Russell and learn how to study the game. If he can be a good leader in the locker room, he can buy you a year or two. I think if you guys got a guy like Caleb, he would come in and immediately be ready to play. But I don't know if he's immediately ready to make the right check on the field.
Right.
There's a difference between being able to make every throw on the field and being able to get your offense in the right position, down in and down out. Those are guys like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, the guy that, like, you make the call, and then what happens at pre-snap? And I think Caleb can be that guy. It's just about how the Pittsburgh Steelers develop the quarterback position to manage the offense. If you want somebody to manage the offense, he's got to call the play pre-snap. You got to be able to give him 2 to 3 to 5 different plays, and a good O-line, a good center that can be on the same page and drive that offense. Otherwise, you're just going to be caught up in this trying to run the ball every single down and being 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 5, and that's a tough situation against defenses that are coming off the edge nowadays that are extremely fast.
Mm-hmm. So Andre, to your point, you brought something up that I feel we'd be remiss if we don't bring up, right? So you talk about, quarterbacks being good stewards in the locker rooms, right? Good leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good teachers. So let's go back. When we drafted Mason Rudolph, our locker room already was shattered, and we lacked that at quarterback, right? Because we draft Mason Rudolph, the first thing our quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, says is we could have did something better with that pick, right? At that point, he made it clear that he was not going to be a good steward. He was not going to be a good teacher. He was not going to be a good locker mate. That broke there, right? Then we talk about, we lose Marquise Pouncey. We talk, as we know, the center and the quarterback are two pivotal positions for an offense that make that engine go.
As an organization, you guys watched that and allowed that to happen.
We did, and as Senior said, that goes on Tomlin, and that goes on Colbert. Yeah, that's Tomlin and Colbert. So, but then we talk about Kenny Pickett, and in my opinion, I feel it's the same pattern.
Yeah, you bring in a baby Roethlisberger. You bring in a baby Roethlisberger in Pickett.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait, he wasn't no baby Roethlisberger now.
He made attitude-wise.
Attitude-wise, and another 3 cheeseburgers in the offseason, and we looking at the same guy. Like, attitude, it's just the same kind of thing. Like, when I look at the Packers and I look at Jordan Love, how he absorbed the demeanor of Aaron Rodgers, even the way that he falls to the ground. He absorbed that. Like, that's if you want a good quarterback, you just don't draft that guy. You develop that guy. He becomes that guy over time. Like, even Brady, Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for years. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for years. And you develop these guys, and you pay them the money that it requires for them to stay and learn how to be a quarterback. There's some teams that are quarterback whisperers, and there's some teams that are just not. And with the talent in the NFL right now, like, I think back to when Senior stepped in my junior and senior year playing 7-on-7 football. That's how the game is played right now. It's a 7-on-7 game, and if you can't throw the football, you're behind the curve. You can run the football all day in the paint, but if you can't throw the football and put up points, you're not going to be very successful.
I agree with you 100%. The game has changed. The old way of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Green Bay Packers, the Hornies and stuff like that. We have to reinvigorate, reinvent ourselves. Old Pittsburgh Steeler way, you can run, and I keep hearing people say that, but you've got to have someone that when you need them to step up can make that throw, and we haven't had that person. But yet, not only that, the game has changed so much that a lot of times the pass sets up the run. Where we still want the run to set up the pass. And what, like you were just saying, and even Will was saying, we need to put more into our offense. The only money we ever put into our offense was Roethlisberger for the most part. We haven't invested money into our offense. And until we change that concept, Pittsburgh will always be behind these other teams. I mean, yeah, Baltimore, they got Derrick Henry's old, but guess what? They're putting something into it, so they're going to get something out of him. Yeah. We got to change with that concept of we got to be able to score and not just rely on our defense to keep people from scoring. How many games have we all sat there and watched on a Monday night, a Sunday night, we up by 10 and said, oh my God, can we hold this? Because the defense has gotten tired. We got to be able to, we all played. When you step on somebody's throat, you take them out.
And in this day and age, that requires throwing the ball on first down.
Will Mitch, you go ahead and jump in. Will Mitch. I think his audio's out. All right. Let's see.
I'm curious to know what you were going to say about the Packers, though.
I wanted to ask you your opinion on Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. Were you surprised that you guys were going to release Aaron Jones and bring in Josh Jacobs? Did you think that was an option that you guys were going to have?
Absolutely not. Only because Packers as an organization, we haven't been this aggressive in free agency in a long time. We've been very loyal to our players, and we finally made the right decision. I love Aaron Jones. I think that, when he's done in Minnesota or when he's done playing, we'll definitely put his name in the rafters. I hope they do. It would be the right thing to do. But it was the right move. He's had, he had 2 bad injuries to his knees, and he's been in the league 7 years, and the life expectancy of a running back, I think he's expired already. So I think Josh Jacobs was as close to an Aaron Jones that we could get, and I think he's a complete back. I think he's a every down back. I think that if if Corey Dillon isn't careful, we can mess around and release him too, depending on how the draft looks.
Right.
So if he happens to come in the camp, he's kind of like another Eddie Lacy. If he shows up the camp out of shape, we could potentially release him late and be dependent on some other draft pick to be a backup to our starting running back.
Hey, can I say one thing to that? You are losing one component that Aaron Jones brought. That was he could be in a slot that what's his name Jacobs can't do.
Well, we got so many. I think that we got so many wide receivers now. I think that our coach is banking on not having to move him around so much. We've got a lot of wide receivers that are capable of catching the football.
Yeah, but you yourself know the surprise of him being on the field, not knowing where he's going to be at all times on the field is going to be a big difference than what Jacobs is going to run from the backfield. He can catch the ball, but not like Jones.
Yeah. But the way we pass the football as if it's a running down. So we're happy with the 3-yard completion, 3.5-yard completion on first down.
Right.
Like we're happy with that. That's the new age 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
That's the new coach. Your coach is more aggressive, and I like that concept, his mindset. I like the younger coaches.
Yeah, we'll come out there in 5 wide on first down, and we're okay with that 3-4 yard. Let's see what they're gonna give us. Let's see how they're gonna match up to our wide receivers and see what we're gonna do. We're not really looking to run the football as much as we used to, but it definitely is a very key position when you can have, I don't want to compare him to McCaffrey, but he can do a lot of the things that McCaffrey can do when he's 100% healthy.
Who?
Aaron Jones.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jacobs. I was ready to say no.
I'm talking about Aaron Jones. Like when he's 100% healthy, he can run the ball between the tackles. It's not someplace that you want to run him day in and day out, but he can run the ball between the tackles. He can catch the football, and he's got a great football IQ.
You do realize without him, y'all don't advance in the playoffs, right? Last year.
Who, Aaron Jones?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to be sure.
If he don't come back, we done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got better them last few games.
Yeah.
The running game.
It made guys step
what
up.
I said, the running game is still relevant. I know the passing game is the hot thing and cats keep passing. You need that running game.
The threat of a 3 yard in a cloud of dust is very underrated. And that's why I like Najee. He's the best 3 yards in a cloud of dust behind Derrick Henry. So if you give him that option with a quarterback that can make the right check at the line of scrimmage, like at the line of scrimmage, pick your poison. A quarterback that can come to the line of scrimmage and say, okay, they backing off, I'm going to check to this 4 yards.
Yeah.
Quarterback that can bait you into coming to the line of scrimmage, like a guy like I hate to compare it, like Peyton Manning can bait you into the defense that he wanted you to play.
You're right. Wow.
You got that in Russell Wilson, though. I think Russell, even though Russell Wilson got a bad rap in Denver, I think with him coming into Pittsburgh, with him having the kind of relationship I think he'll have with Mike Tomlin, I think that you guys will get into the play calls offensively that will keep a very good defense fresh.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that our defense didn't get last year. They were constantly on the field. We were horrible at getting first downs. There was games where we had 1 first down the entire first half, or not the first half, but there would be games where for the first quarter we have 0 first downs, negative yards, 4 first downs, 2 first downs. So we lacked moving the ball last year. And I say, yes, play calling was a problem, but efficiency and being able to go out there and the players execute. There was no execution. There was no leader on offense to make sure there was executing. And that's something that Russell gives us that we did not have. And that's what I most look forward to, is just that structure that he can bring into corralling the offense to now look like one unit.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC was always one quarterback away from being what the New England Patriots were when they were, that dynasty that won all those Super Bowls, because Tom Brady trusted in, whether he was forced into trusting it from the head coach
from Belichick
to punting the football, putting us in a position where we're going to protect field position and we're going to make offenses go 70, 80 yards to score a touchdown. Don't turn the ball over and give us 40 yards to kick a field goal, easy touchdowns, turning over the football. Like, you got to manage the game.
Yeah. And guys, I appreciate y'all for being on, man. Didn't think we went a good hour and a half strong today. Chase, it was good having you on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Nah, when as soon as I seen you in the chat, I said, "Oh, okay." But no, I appreciate you for jumping on, and I'm definitely going to send you I'm gonna send you some information because you know we go on every Thursday live. Today was more impromptu, just because of the news of today. Not only the Kenny Pickett news, but also Aaron Donald retiring. You know, his 10 years of great service that he provided and gave to NFL fans and to Los Angeles. So,
can I say one more thing before I go?
Go ahead.
I never had the opportunity to say to Senior, like those summers when you stepped in and coached that summer league, you didn't have to do that. You did it because you love the game. You appreciated what you brought to the table, what we were bringing to the table, and you know what I embark on young people today is that every decision can change your life.
Yeah.
And the decision that you made to step in unpaid to give up your time to coach us through those summer leagues changed my life. Had I not been at that summer league and had somebody to guide me, I wouldn't have got the collegiate offers that I got that led me down the path to be successful in my life. So that decision that you made then has really set me off to success, whether you know it or not. So, I've never had the opportunity to thank you because now, as you know, I just turned 44 the other day. Now I have the hindsight to look back at those moments and say, damn, I really appreciate that. So hats off to you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So somber.
No, look, I think
somber.
he knows. I think I see young
Yeah.
guys all the time. It was the best thing God blessed me with was the opportunity to be in y'all's presence. And I'm still having that opportunity. So I thank you. I'm glad to see when young men like yourself turn out and do well, raise your own family. That's a blessing. And I'm just thankful. Thank you, Andre.
Yes, sir.
So before we go, I'm sharing this story, right? About Andre. Let me tell you how Andre welcomed me to varsity football as a sophomore. So I'm going on a flare route, and Ike throws the pass. And when Ike throw the pass, I have to torque my body all the way around to catch it, right? So when I go to catch it, it ain't like the red pads that these kids wear nowadays. Like these kids nowadays, it's like their pads come equipped. It's like they got an underneath shirt that got pads. I don't know what they wear. I had to torque my whole body around. Ike throw the ball. Andre come up from the corner position and smacks me. When I tell you I've never been hit so hard that my shoulder pads broke, he broke my shoulder pads. I was hot. Oh, I was mad. I was doing everything I can to get Andre back. I was hot. He definitely welcomed me to varsity football on that hit. So I don't thank you for that.
All good, my bro.
But nah, man, listen, I definitely appreciate you guys for joining. I thank Will. I thank Money Miss for joining. I thank Chase. I thank Senior. I thank Sean. I thank Keon. I thank Lamont, for chiming in, even though he wasn't able to stay with us long, and to share his experiences, with being a business partner with Aaron Donald. That was major. He didn't have to. I thank him for just taking the seconds that he did out. We'll get him back on for sure. But I want everybody to enjoy their Friday. I mentioned it yesterday. There's a expo going on this week, Saturday and Sunday at the University of District Columbia for all student athletes that are 11 years old to 25 years old. It deals with head to speech. It focuses on everything around sports, especially football. When you talk about your CTE, when you talk about the fitness, when you talk about all the things that matter health-wise and you play a sport, this is a place that you want to have your children or college students at, just to get more informational, more guidance, more direction on how to take care of their body and how to treat their body. Again, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, University of District of Columbia, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are one of the Media Expo partners, and we too will be there on Saturday and Sunday. So thank you guys for joining us from Pits and Push Sports Talk Radio, Bowie TV. Catch you later. See y'all on Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks, guys.